Introducing Oakley Meta Vanguard, the new performance AI glasses designed for athletes. With hands-free capture on an action-ready ultra-wide camera, powerful open-ear speakers, and built-in Meta AI that syncs with your Garmin devices for real-time insights while you train. Take your performance to the next level with Oakley Meta Vanguard. Athletic intelligence is here. Learn more on meta.com.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
If Chelsea were behaving like that, the media would paint it and say, well, they're just being street smart, they're just being savvy. When Forest try those tactics, you know, we're football terrorists.
Hello and welcome to 1865, the Nottingham Forest Podcast and our Football Terrorists show. We're recording this on the morning of Sunday the 16th of November in the last international break of 2025. And in today's show, we're taking the temperature of the Reds' progress in the month since we sensibly airbrushed the last head coach out of existence. Coming up in today's show, penny for your thoughts. Our panellists put themselves in the shoes of some key figures at Forest. We'll hear from an Everton fan with their thoughts on Sean Dyche and whether he thinks the gravel-voiced gaffer will be a success at the City Ground. The women's team are going great guns in WSL2 despite a wobble. We'll hear the thoughts of our correspondents. Jeremy Davies will be joining us with some more sardonic reflections in the football terrorist sketch. We'll have a quick fire round to get our panellists' thoughts on some key moments from the last month. And finally, in our last Football Terrorist show before the festive season, we'll consider what to give if you had the role of City Ground Secret Santa. I'm your host, Rich Ferraro, and I'm here with the man that I call number 2, the Maradona of the Midlands. Welcome to Football Terrorists.
Football Terrorists.
Let's welcome today's panel, and I'd love to know what mark out of 10 you'd give Sean Dyche and his coaching team so far. So firstly, hello to Steven Toplis.
Hello. I will give Dyche and his team an 8 so far. He came in at a low ebb. We've had some good wins against Porto and Leeds. He's brought the feel-good factor back to the club, and fans believe in the manager again, and so do the players.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. Greetings to Tom Newton.
Hello. I'll give Sean Dyche and his staff a 7. They've given us some much-needed hope since the debacle of Ange Postecoglou. We've got some wins on the board, and hopefully over the next few weeks, we'll get out the relegation zone and start to look upwards rather than downwards.
Thank you very much, Tom. Welcome to Baz.
Hiya. 7 from me. We're getting back to that defensive resolve that was the foundation of our season last year. We're regaining a load of confidence. We just need to make sure that we keep our football decent, because we've got some real potential up front and we don't want to destroy that.
Thank you very much, Baz. And number 2, what do you think?
Well, I think I'm reading a bit harsh. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 there. I don't think there's much more as a coaching team they could have done. They've got us looking, as everybody said, solid again. We're scoring goals again. Got some good results. So, 9 out of 10 for me.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. And for what it's worth, this isn't about me, but I'm going to split the difference and I'm going to join Stephen on 8 out of 10 so far. As always, we extend a warm welcome to any new listeners to 1865, and we offer our thanks to you and our long-term supporters for joining this, the original Nottingham Forest podcast, established in 2008. This is actually a big fortnight for us. We've already released our Brian Roy interview, and next week you can hear from former Forest skipper Steve Chettle. As if this wasn't enough, this week Baz and I will be attending the Football Content Awards ceremony, where we're nominated in the category of Best Club Content Creator for the Premier League. Win or lose, we're grateful to be nominated, and thank you to those of you who voted for us. Baz, just quickly on this topic, I mean, when we started the podcast, it was down to you having the idea that, you know, in an era before live streams and watch-alongs and basically internet commentary, you had the idea that Forest fans who aren't in Nottingham and don't have access to Radio Nottingham might like to hear a view about what's actually gone on at games that we've attended. Did you ever imagine that, 17 years later, firstly, we'd still be doing it, and secondly, we'd be nominated for an award?
I mean, you hear all these people when, like the BAFTAs or whatever, when they give an award speech, and you're thinking, God, they're just gushing. But actually, it's really nice to be nominated. I don't know where the nomination came from or anything like that, but people out there have obviously listened to us, and some people have bothered to vote for us, which is amazing.
Yeah, it really, really, really is. And also I should point out that a lot of prizes that are out there, for example, like Oscars, like BAFTAs, like Mercury prizes, like Grammys, you have to nominate yourself. We didn't do any of that. We just got an email saying, congratulations, you've been shortlisted. So the feeling of that is really, and yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not that bothered whether we win or lose, but I'm very, very grateful to the judging panel and to everyone who's voted.
1865.
Terrorists.
Now let's go straight to our first feature, Penny for Your Thoughts. In this game, each contestant has a minute to put themselves in the shoes of a key person at Nottingham Forest and to tell us what is going on in their minds. After we have heard from each of our protagonists, Rich is going to award some points. I think we'll start with Tommy Newton here as Sean Dyche.
So honoured to be your manager. Me and my staff and my players have a bag of gravel every morning to get us out of this mess Andrew's got us in. After every win, we'll have a roast dinner together. Call it Brexit ball, Dyche ball, whatever you want. But all I can say is we'll be safe on the drop, enjoy Europe, and we'll keep smiling. Love, Sean.
Oh, completed in plenty of time there. Got an extra 40 seconds to fill now. But a sterling effort from Tom there, channeling the inner Sean Dyche and giving a decent impression of the little girl from The Exorcist at the same time. Next, we'll go on to Steven on our lovely big Brazilian Morato.
Well, we've got a new manager, and it's nice that this one wants me to be a defender. And he's a guy who has brought me back in as the defensive super sub that Nuno used to play me under. I did like Ange because I played under him, but every time a ball came into the box, I didn't know what I was doing. Neither did the rest of the defence. So God bless our new ginger prince.
Oh gosh, that's another quick 30-second burst from Stephen. It was nice to hear that Morato's picked up a lovely Nottingham accent in this short time on Trent's side. Finally, we move over to Baz on Calimoendo. Go.
So I was talking to my friend and teammate Bruce Samba, and he says to me, you should go to England. I know this great club. It is crazy. And he's not wrong. This club is actually crazy. The owner, I meet him, he has this crazy temper. He threw a television set at me because I was wearing green shoes. First manager, I meet him and he plays this crazy musical instrument with a wistful look on his face. Second manager, I meet him, he ignores me, then starts talking gibberish like a crazy man. Third manager, I meet him, he has his crazy voice like a diesel engine on a cold day, and he talks for 30 seconds, then makes me run around the field. I say to all of them, my record is clear. I'm a great striker. I score 1 goal every 3 games. First manager doesn't reply, storms out the room. Second manager says, goals are the most exciting thing in football. Leaves him on the bench, stares into space with his hands in his pocket. Third manager shouts, goals are utter white nonsense, and makes me run around the field. So we start the season terribly, we drop into the relegation zone, then the man with the gravelly voice takes charge. I'm out of time. And that's the best bit. Can I just do the best bit?
Do the best bit.
So I ring Brees, I ask him for his advice, and he says, you're playing Liverpool next week. There are fans at that club who hate Liverpool, so what you need to do is what I did in a high-pressure game against a rival team. When you get on the pitch, run up behind Ibrahim Konate and punch him in the back of the head. That's good advice. I mean, Brees is crazy, but not as crazy as this place.
Okay, well, I mean, okay. So, Baz, you were going to get maximum points there, but you do lose points for going over time. But nonetheless,
I even timed it earlier.
Well, you know, what can I say? No one argues with the Mission Impossible timer. So it means that Baz, you do get 4 points. Stephen, you get 2 points, and Tom, you get 2 points. We liked what you had to say, but you didn't have enough of it to say. So that means that we are currently adding in your scores from the introductions. We're going to give Baz 5 points. We're going to give Stephen 4 points. We're going to give Tom 3 points. And Maradona in the Midlands, you have 3 points, even though you're not actually participating in the game.
You're listening to 1865, the Nottingham Forest Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
1865.
Let's have a slight change of tack. Most Reds fans will be aware that the Forest women's team are competing for the first time in WSL2 on a ragga tip. This is essentially the women's version of the championship. So let's get some thoughts on their progress over the last few weeks. First from our new correspondent, Katie Campbell, and then over to Matt Turpin.
Two weeks ago, the Reds took a trip down to the seaside to play Southampton at St Mary's. Both sides are fighting near the top of the table, looking for promotion. For Forest, this is a surprise, but the Saints have entered their 4th season in the 2nd Division. From the off, Emily Batty was the keeper being tested, with the host even hitting the crossbar. For the rest of the half, the two sides cancelled each other out, but Forest took the lead first through Garcia. Boyd Lorca, the one that so often creates the Reds' best chances, was at it again, driving forward and putting in a low cross. Stenson blocked it, but straight into Garcia's path to calmly roll home. Forest thought they were heading into the break with a lead, but Southampton fired back with a quick response. Bourne whipped in a free kick from the left, which was flicked into the net by Mary Bashford. In the second half, both sides battled to take the lead, but it was the Saints who found it first. For her second assist of the game, Bourne fizzed in a corner from the left to Simpson at the back post, and her header looped over Batty. Despite letting their lead slip, Forest showed guts and determination to get themselves back in it, never giving up. More like the Forest we know. Wellings was slipped in by Rowe to find herself one-on-one with the goalkeeper before slotting past her and into the bottom left corner. If you look down to take a sip of your tea and then look back up at your screen, you would have thought you were watching a replay. Instead, you were watching Forest take the lead in the same way that they scored the equaliser, Rowe slipping Wellings in behind to roll it into the bottom left corner. Just over a week later, Birmingham City were welcomed under the City ground lights. Despite the Blues challenging for promotion last season and seeming to do so again this season, Forest would fancy themselves in the fixture due to their impressive start. However, they allowed themselves to get completely rolled over, showing too much respect to their opponents. The game started off slow for both sides before the visitors really took control, creating good chances. Just before half-time, they took a deserved lead as Sari's effort from around 20 yards found the bottom right corner. Forest may feel aggrieved though, as Thomas's foot looked to be stood on, resulting in her losing possession. The second half started as the first ended with Blues domination. However, Forest did get some momentum and came close to equalisers from their usual shots from long distance. As the half grew on, the Birmingham substitutes really impacted the game, with one of them creating a key talking point. Lewis rounded the goalkeeper and looked certain to score, but her shot was blocked by the arm of Stapleton to see herself with a red card. Sari stepped up and smashed the ball into the bottom right corner. It went from bad to worse for the Reds as Lewis sealed the win in stoppage time. She was played in behind the Forest defence down the left before finishing into the far corner from a tight angle. The result is disappointing as these are the teams we need to be challenging with if we want to take another step up. We are missing Deanne Rose as she is a key leadership figure in the team, but she also offers a lot going forward.
Thanks a lot, Katie. Now, before we go to Matt, I also want to introduce a topic here. Sky Sports launched their female-focused TikTok channel Halo the other day, which has swiftly been pulled after accusations of sexism and stereotyping. So I thought it's only fair, as our female football correspondent, to ask Katie what her thoughts were.
3 days ago, Sky Sports released a separate social media channel for female sports fans called Halo, which they labelled Sky Sports as Lil Sis. People thought this was a platform for promoting women's sport and getting more people involved in it, but instead it just completely isolated female sports fans. It never sat well with them from the beginning, as everything was written in pink glittery writing and there were constant references to female related things, which is very stereotypical, and it was like Sky were just trying to dumb sports down for women to understand it. This is really upsetting because women have worked so hard to be recognised in the sports industry and to be taken seriously, and there are so many women who know more about sports than men, so it's just a huge step back. Everyone did take to social media to express their views on the account, including men, which is lovely to see. So Sky did realise their wrongdoing, but in their statement where they said they were stopping activity from the account, there was no sorry for the upset they had caused.
Thanks a lot again, Katie. I think it's fair to say that we all agree with pretty much every word you have to say there. The contents of Sky Sports channel there, just from what I saw, was absolutely laughable, and it was not doing anything to advance the cause of women in sport.
The result is that at the end of the day, we always win.
Now, as promised, it's time to head over to Matt Turpin, our other Forest women's correspondent, who today has been up to Bramall Lane to watch the women's team take on Sheffield United.
A visit to Sheffield for the Reds, but you'd be forgiven for thinking this was a neutral or even a home fixture for Carly Davis's WSL2 debutants. Bramall Lane seems to have more Forest fans than Blades fans in both the profusion of Forest kits on display and the volume of the crowd. You'd be forgiven thinking you were anywhere but Sheffield if it wasn't for the generous bottles of Henson Relish available as a seasoning with your pre-match chips. Forest were also dominant on the pitch for the first half, with the Blades blunted by a seemingly low-energy team. Despite their dominance, Forest couldn't capitalise on their opponent's torpor. Despite some good forward play, pulling the trigger seemed to elude them. Too many times balls found themselves there for the taking, but lost through hesitation. Even the excellent Boy Halorka's gazelle-like energy and agility couldn't find the net. Forest have seemed to have gathered a reputation as a team this season that really saved themselves for the second half. Nearly all of their goals have been scored after the break, so expectations were pretty high. Yeah, after a couple of decent attacks, it was United who took the game in hand, with a devastatingly effective barrage where they looked a threat for at least 15 minutes of absolutely fierce energy, where Emily Batty just about stopped everything thrown at her, often with some top-class acrobatics and lightning reactions. She's our player of the match, absolutely no doubt. Yeah, Forest eventually did retake control, and subbing Charlie Wellings on in the 65th minute felt like a smart move, with the hope of injecting some high-energy attacks into proceedings. And it nearly paid off with some decent forward play. Boyholock, Hamilton, Brown all have a crack. But there's a real lack of finesse in the finishing to secure those 3 points. This then is Forest's first draw in WSL 2, and they finish a day in 5th on equal points with Newcastle, who beat Sunderland at St James's Park 3-1 in a frenetic time-wear derby. Good news, however, for Forest on the Deanna Rose front. She's back in training after a prolonged injury and will hopefully match it fit soon. That extra bit of imagination and entertaining speed is rarely missed. And with Man City in a cup coming up at the weekend, kids are £1, get yourself down there. It's very much needed indeed.
You're listening to 1865, the Nottingham Forest Podcast.
The Football Terrorists Sketch by Jeremy Davies. The incongruity of being in the relegation zone at the same time as embarking on a first foray into European competition this millennium is bound to leave fans feeling a little odd. But our George unwittingly let something slip in his account of travelling to Graz, when he made the telling observation that when he checked in at the airport, there were fewer normal people than there were Forest fans. Whether Forest supporters are any less normal than fans of any other club is open to question, but in the years since Steve Cooper arrived at the club and turned life as a Forest fan upside down, we've certainly brought some stranger things to the Premier League. And I'm not just talking about Ryan Yates. The psychology of football fans has been the subject of extensive academic research. Recent work by scientists at the Clínica Alemana de Santiago in Chile revealed that whilst watching your team win or even score a goal triggers positive chemical reactions in the brain, such as the release of dopamine, the feel-good hormone, experiencing a defeat actually triggers a state called mentalization. In the words of the report, helping fans think about the mental state of themselves and others, helping to ease the pain and enabling their brains to rationalise the defeat. This presumably means working out why it happened, or football fans being football fans, who to blame? Generally the manager or the referee. An article published on Breaking the Lines in 2023 noted that supporting a football club has as much to do with our need as humans for social connection and tribalism as it does love for the game itself. It also speculates that there may be something especially inspiring about watching order emerge out of chaos. Players striving for individual objectives at the same time working together as a cohesive unit. This has been frequently expressed by the well-known maxim, "There's no I in team," unless your name happens to be Cristiano Ronaldo. Perhaps Mr. Marinakis has read the same article. It would certainly explain his running of the club this season. It remains to be seen if Sean Dyche is the man to restore order after the chaos of Ange Postecoglou. Fittingly enough, a key piece of research into the psychology of supporting a football club comes from the University of Nottingham, in the form of a 2008 PhD thesis by one Alan Pringle, glorying in the slightly un-PC title, "I Must Be Mad to Watch This Lot." A key theme of the thesis is the cathartic aspect of supporting a club. Respondents stressed really is the key word here, the importance of venting pent-up emotions from their day-to-day lives in the safe environment of the stadium. This is what sets sport, and particularly football, apart from other collective experiences such as live music or theatre, where such chants as "the conductor is a wanker" or "getting replaced by a younger, more talented and attractive lead vocalist in the morning," "you're getting replaced by a younger, more talented and attractive lead vocalist in the morning," would be widely construed as not being within the spirit of the event. Another important aspect of supporting a football club is the family, both in the metaphorical sense of clichés such as "it's a family club," and the literal one of support for a particular club running in families, explored in such works of literature as Fever Pitch and The Boy in the Dress. It may not have been a key area of focus for the likes of Sigmund Freud, who famously linked everything back to maternal relationships, but the oft-quoted, if somewhat un-PC, Argentine saying that "you can change your wife but never your mother or your football club" suggested that he might have just as well told a patient to lie down on his couch and "tell me about your football club." Had he done so, the history of psychology might have looked very different, with a lot less about the importance of the id, the ego and the superego than of 4-4-2, false nines and super subs. Not that there aren't plenty of super egos in football, which brings us back to Cristiano Ronaldo.
1865.
Football terrorists.
Thanks to Super Katie Campbell there and Matt for their thoughts on the women's team, and Jeremy for his sketch. We'll be hearing plenty more from them again over the next few weeks and months. Still to come in this podcast, we will hear from an Everton fan with his thoughts on Sean Dyche. We'll have a quick buy around with our panellists, and we'll look ahead to the festive season with our City Ground Secret Santa. Join us in part 2 of Football Terrorists.
You've been listening to 1865, the Nottingham Forest Podcast. Follow us on X, Insta, TikTok, Threads and Blue Sky, and listen via Apple, Spotify and YouTube. All the links are available at 1865.football.
You called number 2 for a reason.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.